Hello, everyone, and welcome to Education 438, Teaching Reading and Writing in the Content Area. Guess what? We have made it through week one. It is day 5, which means that you are now a quarter of the way through this class. And I am here today with an overview video that's going to really break down the requirements for stage 1 of your unit plan for you. And as I mentioned earlier this week, the unit plan is really the crux of our assignments in this class. It's the assignment that is really going to allow you to take everything that you're reading, all the resources you're engaging with, all the discussions that we're having, and apply that to creating something usable for your future teaching and something that is really rooted in equitable literacy practices for your future students. So this video overview is going to cover day 5 topics and objectives. And I know I always list these in our page overview under today's module, but I also wanted to just kind of go over them because today and the rest of this weekend will feel a little bit different. Instead of doing a lot of resource reading, you are mostly engaging in creating the first stage of this unit plan, and everything that you need to read or watch or engage with is embedded within that assignment. So I'm really going to break that down for you, including me breaking down some examples for you. I had 4 awesome students last semester who were totally comfortable with me sharing their unit plans in future classes. And all 4 of these students did a really good job with this initial stage. And so I want to share at least one with you and walk you through it so you can see that really this isn't as intimidating as you think it might be. So let's talk about our topics for today. We are going to return to our earlier conversations from this week on the Understanding by Design framework for unit planning. So, of course, this notion of backwards planning. We're also going to return to Universal Design for Learning, and we're going to position that as the philosophical framework from which I want you to build your unit. And then we are really going to look at stage 1 of our unit plan, which I call identifying desired results, right? And this is what it's typically known as. It's this notion of setting the stage for the rest of your unit plan to come. And I'll go over what that means and what that looks like. So here are your objectives for today. Here's what you want to be working towards today and over the course of this weekend. You are going to review and refamiliarize yourself with Understanding by Design through viewing a template, example units, a guidebook, and returning to early course videos and readings. You are going to demonstrate initial skills in backwards planning by completing stage 1 of your unit plan projects. Within this, you are going to identify the content area and the grade level for your desired unit, as well as the topic that your unit plan will center. You're going to identify some key texts related to your topic that will serve as central components as anchors for the unit. You're going to identify content area and Common Core state standards for literacy that match up with your unit. And you're going to look specifically at reading, writing, and vocabulary standards. After all, this is a course on literacy skills across the content. And then you're going to identify what are called enduring understandings and essential questions for your unit. And how to do these is very much broken up within the assignment for this. But enduring understandings are basically the sort of big concepts and ideas that you want your students to leave your unit having built. Essential questions are questions that you want students to explore throughout the unit through the various assignments that you ask them to do, through the various resources you give them. And then this is, I guess, less an objective and more of something that you can utilize. You can absolutely set up optional Zoom hours with me anytime this weekend, or you can email me to address stage 1's questions and concerns that you might have. Okay, so what we are going to do is I am going to go ahead and pull up the assignment overview, the assignment for this, okay? This is going to look like a lot, and it is a lot because I really want to make sure that you have as detailed of an understanding as you can on how to do this correctly, okay? So you'll notice up here that this is a 15-point assignment. If you attempt all sections, you're going to get full credit here, okay? So this first stage of our unit plan is just giving you the opportunity to play, okay, to get your feet wet in terms of backwards planning and unit planning. I don't expect things to be perfect, all right? So let's talk about context. This is the centerpiece project for this course, as you know, okay? You can delve into your content area while simultaneously pulling in critical literacy skills that will deepen and broaden students' grasp of the content, okay? As you plan your unit, you're going to set rigorous goals. You're going to think about real-world authentic assessments. You are going to think about how to design multimodal, challenging, engaging activities that are going to help students grasp content and help students practice literacy skills. You're going to build academic language, which is something we've been talking about since day one. You're going to tap into students' interests and learning styles, and all the while, you're going to keep universal design for learning principles in the back of your mind, okay? We'll also talk about aligning curriculum, goals, assessments, aligning all of those in an environment that's going to support our diverse learners and that is in alignment, of course, with the goals of Yazzie Martinez, okay? That sounds like a lot, but I promise that every step of the way, you'll be able to pull content and resources from this class and from our conversations. Okay, I'm going to set the scenario for you, right? So I want you to pretend that you have just finished your student teaching and you've been invited to interview at your dream school, fill in the blank, wherever that is, whatever that is, okay? Now, this is very realistic. Among the many materials that the interview committee has asked from you, one of them is a unit plan. Okay, so I want you to pretend that you're going to show up at this interview and you're going to provide a unit plan that has some detailed lessons, that has learning goals and activities, it has assessments, it demonstrates inclusive practices, it demonstrates UDL, it also demonstrates awareness of the district's ethnically, culturally, linguistically diverse student body and community, okay? This unit plan would also keep in mind addressing how your students might use technology in the classroom, academic language of your discipline, and of course, pushing for college and career readiness through alignment with the Common Core, okay? So that's the scenario, all right? You're creating this unit plan that you could eventually use down the line at a job interview. All right, so as I've mentioned several times, this unit is structured through understanding by design. And as such, you're going to have a template that you're going to use throughout the creation of this unit. Okay, so you'll notice right here, it says download these 4 documents before beginning. This is so important before you even start this. Okay, I want you to download all 4 of these. Your New Mexico adopted content standards. These also have Common Core state standards. Your understanding by design template. This is going to be a template that you will upload each week as you add to it, okay? Understanding by Design Guide to Creating High Quality Units. This is a guidebook. We won't be reading the whole thing, but we'll be using part of it. And then some sample units here, okay? So download those first. All right, here I go, crash course. We're going to dive into directions for this. Stage 1. Okay, please, please, please review Understanding by Design, this approach to learning. Read page 8 of the guidebook above. We are working on stage 1, okay? Please also watch these videos as a refresher. What is Understanding by Design? And of course, Understanding by Design framework, okay? That's step 1. Then you're going to read, as part of this step, pages 2 through 9 of the Understanding by Design framework, okay? And then here I just included this note on the template that you will use every single week. I'll give you feedback, you'll revise, etc. Okay. You have downloaded all the forms. You have reviewed Understanding by Design, and now you are ready to go, okay? Step 2, decide on a topic and a grade level that you would like to develop your plan around and fill in that section of your UBD template, okay? We've been talking about this since Zoom on Tuesday, so hopefully you've got some ideas percolating. All right, step 3, you're going to select a text or more than one text for your unit and list the title and author in the appropriate section of your template, okay? This text or set of texts are going to become the central anchor texts, major components of your unit. And you're welcome to add more as you continue through the stages of design. Now, I'm not going to read these all out for you, but I have included a list of resources that you can pull text from based on what your topic is. Okay? All right. Step 4. This is the step that my students, the last time I taught this class, struggled with the most. Okay? So this is choosing standards for the appropriate grade level that will support learning about the topic you've chosen. Okay? Each standard should be cited and described. So as you're choosing your standard, think about some of these points. What would you like students to know and be able to do by the end of the unit? Big ideas you want students to walk away with? Activities that might help teach the standard, and materials you may want to use. Okay, so I have just some information below on how to cite a standard. Okay, Common Core standards are for math and ELA, but within that New Mexico standards document, you have standards for other subject areas as well. Okay, so 4, you're choosing 2 to 4 standards, content area standards. Okay, now 5, stage 5, or part 5, I guess I should say. You're going to choose 3 to 4 literacy specific standards, okay? You're going to choose 3 to 4 English language arts standards. ELA teachers, you'll start at page 39 of the New Mexico Adopted Content Standards to find these. Everyone else, you're going to start at page 59, okay? What is so important here is that I want you to choose 1 reading standard, 1 writing standard, and 1 vocabulary standard, okay? Now, my English teachers out there, you have it, I don't want to say harder, but your content standards are also your Common Core state standards. So you might have 2 separate standards for part 4, and then your reading, writing, and vocabulary standard for part 5. Okay, please reach out if that feels confusing. All right. Number 6, once you've chosen your standards, you're going to cite and describe them in their appropriate sections within your template. Okay, 7, one of my favorite sections of this first stage. You're going to create what are called enduring understandings. These are statements that summarize important ideas and core processes that are central to a discipline. This knowledge has value outside of the classroom space too, and is something students might pull on and again throughout their lives. Okay, these statements synthesize what students should understand and not just know to do as a result of studying a particular content area. Okay, so I have a lot of information on how to create these here. There's a YouTube video on curriculum basics and then a tutorial on YouTube as well on how to create these. You can also just look at some of the examples, the student examples I provided for you, and you'll get an idea of how to do this, okay? So you want to create 2 to 4 of those. And then from there, you want to move to the last step. Step 8, which is writing 3 to 5 essential questions. These are open-ended questions that encourage students to think critically and explore the concepts that you're teaching in your unit, okay? For both enduring understandings and essential questions, in the guidebook you downloaded, there are sections you can read about this. And then once again, I've included some videos on essential questions and how to create them. That's it. That sounds like a lot, I know. But you did it. That is stage 1. There is a continuation piece to stage 1 that we'll work on next week, but that is all you have to work on right now, okay? I will review your stage 1 section and I will give you feedback and let you know what you need to revise, okay? For the next stages of our unit plan, you'll revise what you need to revise and upload the same document, okay, while adding in requirements as we go. So I can't remember who mentioned this the other day on Zoom. I think it was Charity, but I'm all about chunking this assignment into smaller pieces, okay? All right, so let's go ahead actually and look at an example. All right, so this is Carlisle's stage 1 unit plan example, okay? So here's what the template looks like. Under the teacher name, she has her name. Her unit topic is Newton's laws of motion. Her subject area is physics, and she wants to teach 11th or 12th grade, okay? Her selected text here, she has 2. What are Newton's laws of motion? And Sir Isaac Newton and LeBron James. The only suggestion I gave her was to provide links so that I could actually go look at these, okay? Then she moves into content standards. You notice that she actually reached out and asked if she could use the next generation science standards instead of the New Mexico content standards, and I was okay with that. She's got three here. Then she has her ELA literacy standards. Okay. She has a reading standard, she has a writing standard, and she has a vocabulary standard here. Then she moves to her enduring understandings. I'm going to give you an example here because she did this correctly and these were just so good. So over here on the side, it says write 2 to 4 statements that synthesize the big ideas students should understand and carry with them about the content you are teaching. Each statement should start with the student will understand that. Okay. So example of one of her statements. The student will understand that Newton's laws of motions are used by scientists, engineers, sports players, drivers, pilots, and ordinary people to generate desired motion in an object. I love that. Okay. So you can look at her others as well. Then she has her essential questions. These are open-ended questions that are thought-provoking, foster inquiry, etc. Each statement should start, the student will keep considering. And she goes ahead and frames these as questions, which I prefer, okay? So she says, the student will keep considering, how can Newton's laws of motion be used to describe and predict the motion of an object? What are some applications, examples, or effects of Newton's laws of motions in everyday life? Okay. And then, of course, she leaves everything else blank on the template because we're not there yet. Okay. So I'm going to stop my share. This is a lot, and I'm well aware it's a lot. I have some things for you to consider that will help you out as you move towards this. Okay. The first thing, go in order. Okay. So go step by step by step by step. I think it will make it a lot easier. Split it across 3 days. You've got Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to do this. It's due Sunday at midnight. Do a section a day and reach out if you have questions on that section. Okay. The third thing to remember, this is a draft, okay? This is a draft. It is a working document. It doesn't need to be perfect. This is you wrestling with how to set these initial desired results for your students, okay? I think the most confusing part of this is the Common Core / content standards section. So if you need help, please reach out. I don't always explain that section as well as I want to, even though I try. But I think if you look at some of the student examples under today's module, it'll make more sense. Okay. I think that is everything. Your attendance grade today comes from either posting a clarifying question as a comment, or if you're feeling good, just saying, I don't really have any questions at this point. I feel good. If you pose a clarifying question as within a comment section, I will try to answer ASAP, okay? Remember that for your attendance grade, you can either comment directly on the YouTube video or you can email me. This video is long enough. I'm going to go ahead and end it now. Please reach out if you have any questions. And once again, congratulations on finishing week 1.